Welcome back to the Citystead. Oh man, it's a great day. We're gonna start a whole bunch of seeds. So we got this beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful day out in the greenhouse, outside in general. It's such a beautiful day. It is spring, which is indeed time to get those seeds going. Now, we still have the threat of cold nights here in Michigan. So what we have to do is plant and then put them in our side, in our grow lights, or if you have like big window that gets a lot of sun, you can start your seeds there. It's a little risky to put them outside. It's even a little risky to put them in this greenhouse because at night we are still getting into those 30s. Last night it was actually like 20, even though it's like 70 today. So we still had to be careful. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start a whole bunch of seeds and we're gonna start them in these new trays that I got from Burpee. Can you believe it? Burpee has really stepped up their game and made an awesome tray here. You see right here, you got the water catch tray, so you can bottom water plants. You got your little 16 cube tray right here. Now this is thick plastic, guys. This is like quality plastic stuff. This isn't the little crinkly stuff you get normally. Really thick solid plastic, but on top of that, look at this. It's got a silicone bottom. It's got a little silicone bottom with a couple water holes for the water to drain out, but you can squeeze that and push your little sprout right out, and then bam. You're reusing these over and over and over every year. So hats off to Burpee, because I think they made a really high quality product right here. And yeah, they were easy to find at TSC. Now I didn't see them anywhere else that sells Burpee stuff, but at TSC, your Tractor Supply Co., they had a few of these. So I grabbed myself a handful of them because I really think that these are going to be really nice trays to keep using over and over here. And I just like that silicone bottom, being able to squeeze the whole start right out. And then you're good, you're ready to go. This stuff is good to go. It got a tray, water on the bottom. Perfect little setup for starting seeds. And if we're gonna be seed start, you know, we gotta bust out the old dibbler here. Make our perfect little holes, little indents, so we can put our seeds in there. Now you might be asking, what are we gonna start? Well, we are 6 to 8 weeks out from our last frost date, so we're gonna start all the stuff that's a very long season because we do have a shorter season here. So tomatoes, peppers, okra, luffa, cucamelons, all that kind of stuff that takes a long time to either germinate or a long time to get to fruit that it produces. That's what we want to do. We want to plant the stuff that is going to be transplantable when it's hot outside. We can plant a lot of things out in the cold and they'll be okay in the beginning of the season and they'll take off when it warms up. Things like tomatoes and peppers, they really like the heat, so you don't want to put them out when it's below, like, you know, 40, 50 degrees. They want to be out when it's warmer. So that's why we do them way earlier than we do everything else. And we're going to put them under the grow lights to give them that head start that they need so that we can have fruit all summer long and early. So it was really only a couple of years ago that I started planting stuff really early in the year because I had never really had the space or setup to do it. And I first started with that little tiny greenhouse that you guys seen out front of my greenhouse. It's that little one that we redid. It was like 20 bucks. Yeah, we started seeding that real early one time. They actually survived very well. And so it got me really excited because I was like, man, I can keep expanding how early I can start stuff. And so the last couple of years, I've started a lot of things in this greenhouse. Now, I can't do it as early as right now in the greenhouse. I might be able to do a few cold weather crops, but nothing like super warm like these tomatoes or okra or peppers. So having this greenhouse now helps. It definitely helps. I can get a couple week jump on everything. But now that I have the space set up down in the basement, the little grow area, now I can really do some damage. Some of the peppers that I'm starting right now are my jalapenos, cubanelle, which is one of my absolute favorite peppers. And I'm doing a couple sweet banana peppers because the kids like those. And I also will probably do a whole tray of those shishito peppers because I absolutely love those and they're such heavy producers last year. So when it comes to tomatoes, I really love the pineapple, but last year my wife was really into these Cherokee purples that we grew. So now it's kind of like a tomato off to see which one is actually the more popular one in the house. So I'm also excited to try this little Arctic. It's actually called Subarctic Plenty. Now it's an early producing tomato. I think it's gonna be a race between this and the early Detroit that we did last year. Now they don't produce massive tomatoes, but what they do produce is a tomato earlier in the season. This says right here that harvest day, and that's from when you transplant it outside, not from when you start your seeds or when they sprout. 42 days. So after we put it out in the garden, 42 days. That's basically a little over a month. We could be picking tomatoes from the end of our last frost date. So you're thinking, that'd be what, May 11th? So May, June, by the end of June, we could be getting some tomatoes. That is pretty good because usually we get heavy tomatoes in like August and September. All right, now away these go to their new home in the grow room. Alright, there we go. The grow room is already filling up fast with just those 5 trays. One thing I would say about these trays is that they are a little tricky. I can't really get 2 of them under the lights as easily as I can the longer flats. So we might have to get creative. They might have to go under like the smaller hydro light or this other one that we had gotten because they kind of do it more of a square. And I'm thinking with those being square themselves, it might be a perfect fit to kind of put 4 of them under one of these. So we will see as we go to fill this up more and more on how it works. And I've been doing all sorts of stuff down here. I want to do like a tour of the grow room and show you all the things I did down here because I got it built up pretty neat, I think, for at least for my setup. It's working pretty well. So what tomatoes and peppers are you guys starting early? I'm probably a couple weeks behind a little bit than most people still, but we are definitely way ahead of our last frost date. So here, like I said, it's like May 11th, May 12th, something like that is our last frost. So we are exactly about 6 weeks in front of it right now. So it's a perfect time actually to start all seeds for us, because we don't want our plants to get too crazy out of control down in there in the little grow room with nowhere to go for them, right? And I'm not like a huge fan of up potting stuff, so what they grow in there is what I'm going to put them out in the ground as. So I don't want them to get too big for their container that they're in. Now I will probably do some more tomatoes, and I'll do them in the bigger pot stuff like this. Like I got a bunch of these 4-inch pots, and I like to do tomatoes and peppers in these because they don't have to be up potted. And I'll probably be doing that all week long. Like I said, I'm gonna fill up that whole grow room down in the basement, and then we will also start planting this out in a couple of weeks, and we'll have a bunch of like late starter stuff in the greenhouse outside. But having the grow room, that little space in the basement that I made with a couple just cheap shop lights down there, and I found a couple of cheap LED lights from Amazon and a couple of heat mats. It really wasn't a ton of money to put that little room together, but it's a huge game changer for being able to start seeds. I don't have a good bay window that's on the south side of the sunny side of the house, and we have a cat and that cat would eat anything green in the house no matter what. So it's really hard to start seeds when you don't have that natural light. So we had to create some kind of artificial light, and that's the little grow room in the basement. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed planting some stuff with me, and remember to be bold and grow bold, and as always, I'll see you guys in that next video. Peace!